We are always looking for guests. The past month or so, we have had kind of a guest shortage. Hey, solarpreneurs, today we're going to be talking about how to find the best areas in 2025. If you struggle to find good areas to knock, if you struggle to figure out where you're going the next day, plan out your turf, as we like to call it, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to the show. My name's Taylor Armstrong. We're here to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, and have a much better time in the solar industry. Hope you're doing awesome. Hope you're taking advantage of the urgency we have in 2025. We're entering towards midway through quarter three at the time of this recording, and so much urgency, so much going on with the big, beautiful bill, with things ending, with changes. So if you are not maximizing the opportunity right now, right here, then I don't know what to tell you. Get out there, grind. But today we're going to show you how to be more effective. And this is something that for me, I believe it's one of the things that's helped myself and our team sell quite a few deals over the past 3 months. I think 16 deals the past month, 16 deals the previous month. So it's been pretty consistent, over 15 plus deals using some of these strategies. So if you're not at 15 plus deals in a month, then maybe you should try some of these. Okay. So let's jump into it. The first one is figure out your strategy. What I mean by that is there's a few different ways you can knock doors, right? Some people, if you're just starting out, and then you're probably just going to regular neighborhoods, you're probably getting dropped off in a cookie cutter neighborhood, just knocking door after door after door after door. But a lot of us that have been in solar for longer now, okay, and that's a great way to learn, by the way. You definitely need to get your reps in, just hitting every single door. But people that are more experienced, what's your strategy? It's like a couple different things. You can hit people that have just moved in recently. You can hit maybe spread out areas. You can go to smaller towns, hit areas where maybe it's just not like door after door after door, but they're on bigger properties. Maybe you have to drive half a mile, quarter mile to the next one. Okay, you can hit gated neighborhoods. So there's a few different strategies, and you've heard us mention this several times, but the easiest way to target homes like that is with Solar Scout. Okay, if you're not using Solar Scout, makes it so much easier. We should have a link down in the show notes if you want to book a demo with these guys. If not, you can also hit me up. I'll connect you with them. They got a offer special for our listeners, but makes it so much easier to figure out where you're going, what's your strategy, and that's going to determine the area you pick, whatever your strategy is. Okay. The second thing is strategize your appointments. Make sure you are doing a couple things. Number one, setting appointments to start off your day. Yeah, this is kind of a hack, a secret. I think I first heard this from my guy, Ashton Buswell, one of the just goats of the industry, I would say. Ashton, he taught us this, that if you can schedule an appointment for first thing when you go out to the neighborhood, say you're maybe lacking motivation. If you have an appointment scheduled at 9 a.m., then you're going to get out to the area at 9 a.m. Okay, and I know this, other people talk about this too. But if you can set, I think we call it like a keystone appointment or like a trigger appointment, it's going to trigger you to get out there. And then it's like, even if it's maybe not the most solid appointment, gave you a reason to get out there. If that appointment's not there, then you're knocking. You're in hood. You're in area. Hey, and then a few other things with the appointments is try not to set those appointments during prime time, right? If you're knocking, so many people I hear all the time where the first option they give the homeowner is, hey, we'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. What if you could schedule it after knocking hours? Okay, or maybe you're doing same days. What if you could schedule those after 8 p.m.? Most people, doesn't make a difference. If they're home after 5, they're also home after 8. Hey, don't risk losing that appointment. If you have them right then, right now, then by all means do it. I'm a big fan of same days, walk in, get them right then. But if not, then try to schedule it outside of those prime time hours. Okay, and if you do have appointments during those hours, maybe you're waking up Friday morning and you've got a stacked schedule in the afternoon and evening-ish, but you got nothing going on in the morning, then that's also going to determine where you knock. Okay, because guess what? In the morning, probably not going to be a lot of working class people. So if I were you trying to strategize, plan your areas, you got a packed schedule with evening appointments, people that, you have to meet at 4, 5, 6 p.m., which is going to happen if you're getting lots of appointments. Then maybe you go out in the morning and you hit like a retirement community. You pick an area where people are more likely to be home. And it's pretty easy to research this. You can search for retirement communities and just in general, as you're going in regular neighborhoods. A lot of times it's kind of easy. You'll see sometimes like handicap ramps. Sometimes you'll see the handicap stickers on cars. Those ones, if you're knocking a regular neighborhood, it's prime time. Maybe don't knock that. Maybe you can save that for when it's not prime time because they're probably always going to be there. Okay, so that's another good thing to consider is how are you strategizing your appointments? How are you strategizing your area based on the appointments you have? Something to think about. Okay, and then number 3, figure out who you have the most success with. So we got demographics, right? This is another thing that Solar Scout is fire for. We've been having a ton of success just hitting the Hispanic neighborhoods. Okay, I've got my guy, one of our top setters here, Rosenberg. He's a Mexican guy. He comes out and he just absolutely crushes in Spanish. Sets, I would say 70% of the doors when they're Spanish speakers. So he knows, hey, I can knock any area, but you drop me off in a place where it's mostly Hispanic, mostly Mexican, going to have a lot more success. So for you, maybe you can target those areas. If you're not using a tool like Solar Scout, you can go to citydata.com. You can pull up the ethnicity. You can pull up the demographics. You can pull up income levels. Maybe you know that you do better in a little bit lower income. Okay, and don't sleep on higher income too. Even this week, sometimes I like get in my head, higher income, these people don't listen as much. They don't buy from door-to-door salesmen. I think it's sometimes a false belief we can tell ourselves. But I have someone on our team this week. He went out in a higher income neighborhood, absolutely crushed 5 appointments in like 2 hours. And I think it's because so many other people knocking doors, they're scared of these higher income neighborhoods that people are going to be shorter with them. You do have to have a little bit different approach, but some of these higher income places can be really great areas too. But figure out the demographics, figure out where you have the most success with, and consider targeting those areas. Okay, and then last but not least is, especially if you're closing deals, and I would say even if you're just newer, if you're setting appointments, just try to work as a pack. It makes it so much easier when you can go to similar areas, be feeding off the energy. If you have car groups, make sure you're not forming gigantic car groups. We actually did a blitz a couple weeks ago, and we went up in Northern California, kind of around San Francisco, and it was good, decent blitz, got some deals. But one of the mistakes we made, might have mentioned this in previous podcasts, we had one car for 5 people. And, at first it was like, I think, it'll be fine. We can just all go to similar areas, knock. I can walk to appointments as needed. But it ended up getting tough because the other closer that was there, he had customers already in the area. He had appointments, referrals that were like 20, 30 minutes out in different areas. And then I ended up having to take Ubers to a bunch of appointments. And, I walked, I walked like a mile and a half to another one because the Uber was taking too long, just stuff like that. So make sure you plan it to where you're not forming car groups of like 20 people. Okay. Ideally you want 2 or 3, I would say, in a car group. And that way you're not having one person just drive all over town, drive all day. Okay, so those are some tips on how to pick an area. Okay, number 1, just to review it, figure out your strategy. For me, I like switching between strategies. Some of these strategies, it's like you're not going to be just knocking one area. We call it driving for dollars. It's like where you're driving to maybe new move-ins, you're driving to people with pools. You can go easily on a map. You can target all the people with pools. A really cool filter in Solar Scout. If you want to check that out, you can target people with electric vehicles. So many different ways you can target these people. And especially if you're knocking saturated areas, pretty much everywhere in California is like this. Areas that have been hit hard, try to filter it like that. Okay, you can go to the homes with pools. You can go to the homes that look like they have higher usage. Yeah, when I'm knocking in an area, I'm listening for the humming of an AC unit, right? Because probably using more power if you can hear the humming of the AC. Sometimes in San Diego where I'm at, it's kind of rare to be running AC because people just don't have AC out here. So look for clues like that. target your area like that. And then number 2 is strategize around your appointments. Another thing with that, if you have limited time, right? Maybe you have limited time, just an hour between appointments. Might be good to pick a different strategy. Right? If I have limited time, I'm going to do the thing that gets me appointments the quickest. Okay. And we all want quicker appointments. But if you have limited time, maybe dial down even more. Okay, I got an hour. You know what? I'm going to hit some new move-ins. I'm going to go to this area where I know people are home. Okay, you need to strategize around the time that you do have in the hours available, depending on the hour of the day, right? And then number 3, figure out who you have the most success with. Know the demographics, know the ethnicities. It can be extremely valuable knowing that. And then number 4, get your team in similar areas, especially if you are closing people's deals, running appointments. Helps so much to be in similar areas, not driving all over town. Okay, so just some things to think about. I hope this helps you. Hope it helps the organization of your team. And remember, if you are newer listening to this, you can't avoid getting your reps in. Okay, sometimes I see newer reps try to do all these fancy strategies, but it's like, hey, put in the grind, put in the hours, learn to overcome the objections, learn the script, learn the presentation, and that's going to be the biggest keys to your success starting out. Then you can add in more strategies. Then you can target more homeowners. Then you can do things a little different. Hope this helped you and your team today. Send me, please, any topic suggestions you have. We are always looking for guests. The past month or so, we have had kind of a guest shortage. So you've seen me repurposing some previous episodes, and partly just because we are slammed, we are grinding here. So haven't had as much time to run interviews, but please introduce me to anyone you know that is crushing it in the solar industry right now. Would love to hear from them. Would love to feature them on the podcast. And happy selling this week. Go get out there, and we'll see you on the next one.